in terms of positional value, and we had this conversation with Jacob Infante about positional value. I love that conversation and like positional need and all that good stuff. In my mind, I played it out, right? And Paula, you said this, like, you're drafting for a wide receiver 3, right? Yes, granted, DJ Moore, Keenan Allen might get hurt. Odunze turns into wide receiver 2 for a good chunk of the season. That's all hypothetical. And let's say it's a perfect world, right? Let's say you play out this offseason and you come out of this draft with Caleb Williams and Odunze, and now training camp's coming up and we're talking about, can we get Yannick Ngakoue back for a cheaper contract, right? Can we address the defensive end position and yada, yada, yada? How do we add depth to defensive tackle? This, that, and the other. And I feel like that route, while it's fun because it's offense, there's a lot of question marks. It's a rookie quarterback with a rookie wide receiver and 2 veteran wide receivers. And yeah, like, you can only spread the ball around so much. So let's say in a perfect world, you have Odunze with Caleb Williams, and he's playing great. Odunze is getting you 700 yards maybe, and like 5 to 7 touchdowns.
Can I intervene real quick?
Yeah.
Listen, I'm so far on one end of this whole thing, where if Marvin Harrison Jr. falls to 9, I would be so happy because it guarantees me a trade partner.
Yeah. Same.
That's how I feel about the wide receiver position. And I know, Richie, you were laughing at probably the idea. I would pass him up.
The other part of this is, if Caleb Williams is everything you hope he is, we're talking about, like, you want to compare to Aaron Rodgers, this is a guy that made Randall Cobb like a Pro Bowler. So Julian Edelman was on his podcast talking about how Tom Brady, you know, he would invite him to workouts, and on a normal day with wide receiver training in the summer, you know, they ask you to run routes, route trees, fix each other's like body positioning and stuff like that. Quarterback invites you, they ask you to run 25, 30 routes, right? Like, that's a heavy work day, right? You're running 25 hard full speed routes. Julian Edelman mentioned that, I think he said Tom Brady had him run 75 to 90 routes, right? And the whole time Tom Brady is saying, look, when I throw the ball, I expect you to put all your weight on the inside foot leverage, peel back, and hit the sideline. And Julian Edelman just constantly kept talking about how Tom Brady, a quarterback, was probably the person that made him better at wide receiver than his wide receivers coach, his head coach, his coaches all the way through, right? When a quarterback can dictate what they want you to do, you become more successful. And that's why I was never in the favor of the Justin Fields narrative. Like, he just needs 3 number 1 wide receivers and he's going to be a stud. Like, that's a problem.
Where was Julian Edelman drafted? What round?
7th round.
7th round, pick 11.
Yeah.
That's what we're talking about. That's why positional value. That's exactly it.
You're spending your 1-1 at quarterback. Ideally, the risk has already been taken. You don't need to pad that room with guys to make Caleb Williams that much better. You already gave him DJ Moore and Keenan Allen. You're talking about you're playing the hypothetical offseason game. You come out of the draft with Odunze and Caleb Williams, and you're just fingers crossed that everybody's gelling, has chemistry, and now you're hoping that you can fill some positions of need on defense, right? So you're saying Odunze, in a perfect world with everybody healthy and Caleb Williams being a 4,000-yard passer, Odunze is coming out of the season with maybe 700 yards and 5 touchdowns, and he's probably in the Rookie of the Year competition. Flip that over, and now you have Caleb Williams. Now you take Jared Verse, right? In an ideal scenario, Jared Verse on this defense, and part of this is also, I don't think defense is the most inconsistent part of football. You can have a top 5 defense one year and a 15th ranked defense the next year and nothing changed, right? So you can't rest on your laurels because the last 6-7 games of the year you were a top 5 defense. You still have to improve defense because that stuff is always changing. Somebody gets a step slower, somebody messes up their gapping position, somebody's coach that they liked and was the secret sauce just left. And so now you got Jared Verse. A good year for Jared Verse opposite a good, like, a Gervon Dexter year that's up, a Montez Sweat year. Jared Verse should end with like 9 sacks, 10 sacks, 11 sacks.
Yeah.
Right? So I'd rather have Caleb Williams, 11 sacks from Jared Verse, and go get Tyler Boyd or Hunter Renfrow in training camp, or wait for a training camp wide receiver cut. Somebody's getting cut in training camp this year that you don't expect. Somebody's going to be a cap casualty that you still don't expect. We just got Stephon Diggs traded for a essentially second or mid 3rd round pick 21 days before the draft. You don't see defensive ends getting traded today.